Stephen Leggett, question for you as it relates to achieving the American dream. It seems like the American dream is synonymous with home ownership, and the fact of the matter is, as we watch down payments, the value of a home goes up. Therefore, the value or the amount of the down payment also goes up. We see that without any question, seniors and families who struggle to afford a home seem to be heading in the same direction, higher and higher and higher. Can you talk about the critical role opportunity zones can play in expanding access to safe, affordable housing?
Yes, Senator. The opportunity zones can play an absolutely critical role. Um, when you have the public and private partnerships, when you have private developers at the table trying to do what they can in order to increase housing, it makes a difference. I have seen it. I have seen housing that has come about through opportunity zones, allows people to live in a dignified location and a manner. It and not only seniors but non-seniors have housing now because of the opportunity zones and the investment that developers are willing to make into these communities. As I said earlier, the finding from the nonpartisan joint committee found out that 24% of the 24 billion invested in opportunity zone funds went to low income communities. And it's not just low income communities. I've seen where they are invested in workforce housing in a city like Birmingham, where there was an old factory and an opportunity zone developer came in, tore it, well, it didn't tear it down, but revitalized it, and it became a beautiful workforce housing development. So housing is critical, and opportunity zones, it allows this to happen through developers who are allowed to invest and create new housing in these communities.
Thank you, ma'am. Another question for you. I served on county council in a prior life, it feels like at this point in my career. And in that life, I will say without any question, watching the zoning decisions and the land use restrictions that are sometimes placed from the local level, whether it's the municipal or the county levels, really does have it does restrict the amount of homes on the market, so to speak. 39% of seniors say that an unaffordable housing is a major problem and a reality, and you can't have a safe home if you can't afford a home at all. Uh, could you explain how land use regulations hurt the poorest and most vulnerable Americans and what impact reforms like accessory dwelling units can have on vulnerable populations?
Yes, Senator. So um, zoning, which, as you've indicated, is a local issue. It's a state and municipal local issue. They make the zoning rules, but they can have long-term and wide-reaching effects. I've seen communities, and particularly when you're dealing with low income and even the homeless population, where you have restrictions on the type of dwellings that can go in a particular location. It does not allow certain multifamily housing to come up, which would be beneficial to seniors. And as I said, even the homeless population. So where cities where you see the homeless population burgeoning, which could include seniors who no longer have a place to dwell, are limited because of the zoning regulations that limit what kind of dwelling can be erected. So absolutely, and it would behoove us to reach out to our local um, communities, local uh, decision makers to to understand what wide-reaching effect their regulations have on the ability of individuals to sustain a life. And housing is critical for our seniors. Everyone is not in a position to have their relatives live with them, but the ADUs or accessory development units can be beneficial. That also is regulated locally. So
Thank you
where
very.
you can put them, what you can do, but but for those of you who don't know what they are, they're basically additions in your home. So just say I have a house and I want my to widen my house and to create new housing for someone to come in and live. Those accessory dwelling units are permissible if the local legislators allow this to happen. And more, it's an option. If you've got the land, or if you can even rehabilitate your own existing house where you could create something, it could create an ADU as well. So things like that are important. Changing the uh, the regulations and also expanding the regulations so that they allow for ADUs in our communities.
Great. Thank you so much. Chairman Casey, I turn it back to you, sir.
Thank you, Ranking Member Scott. I know we're awaiting one or two senators right now, but